Okay, perfect. Well, hey, David, Kevin here from the Contractor Center. How are you, David Tiemann? Did I pronounce that
How are you,
correctly this
David?
time?
Yes, sir. You got it.
Nice. Well, I appreciate you carving out some time. Wanted to learn a little more about Placer Contractor School and yourself, and maybe just a little background on what got you into this business, and learn a little more about how California contractors can get licensed.
Okay. So basically, I've worked in construction off and on for about 30 years. I started getting into the actual schooling about 8 years ago, and I worked for one of the larger schools, and then basically learned the program, figured out, you know what, I can do this. I think I can do it better, and so I went out on my own. And the one thing the things that I did do is I took it from a student standpoint when I opened my own business up. I wanted to make it a little more user friendly, and I wanted to make it to where, you know, these guys or gals could enroll and pretty much go at their own pace and get everything handled, and we assist them in everything.
Okay, perfect. And I don't even know. I'm curious, what is involved in getting licensed for California? What are the requirements to get licensed as a contractor in California?
Okay, so first off, you got to have 4 years in your trade. You have to operate at a journeyman level in whatever type of trade that you do. Okay, there is an exception to the rule if you're a college grad. Now, example being, if someone has a bachelor's degree in construction management or something relative to construction, then they can get up to 3 years of experience to put towards their application. So therefore, they would only need actually 1 year in the field of actually doing or supervising the work.
Okay. And what is the process like in terms of the time frame from, someone deciding, yeah, I want to get licensed, they contact you at the Placer Contractor School and say, David, hook me up, I want to get licensed. What's that process look like from start to finish?
So basically, once we get them enrolled, our program is different because we've been doing the online streaming type of program, which no one else had. I actually started it 2 years ago. So it's great because anybody can do it anywhere. So once they get enrolled and we get all their material set up for them, which takes just a few hours, they can go online with their cell phone, with a tablet, or just a laptop and start the curriculum. Okay. So from A to Z to get through the curriculum is probably 4 to 6 weeks. So what I like to do is I like to have my students first and foremost give me their paperwork. We start filling out their application and all their paperwork for the state. Once we get it completely dialed in and perfect, then we file it with the state. Now, generally it takes about 5 to 6 weeks to get a test date back. So they spend that time studying. So it kind of falls into place perfectly because about the time that they're through the process of the program, they're getting their test date and they're able to go in and take their test.
Okay. And I'm curious, I know I've referred a lot of clients over to you, and it's been, a positive experience. I always hear, great things about working with you. But if someone, Google's contractor licensing or California licensing school, there's just tons of them. At least the last time I did it, there was a full page or two of licensing schools.
Right.
So you mentioned, you have the video piece, the online streaming. What are some of the other differentiators on your school or what you do that is different?
I'm glad you asked that first off, Kevin, because a lot of people when they're shopping and they're out there, they're kind of looking at the price. They're not taking into consideration all the things that are included. Okay. So above beyond the material being first rate, the publisher that I use has been in business for almost 40 years. Okay. So these guys are experts. The other thing that I do for these students or for anyone that works with me is essentially the material is set up for most schools, and I know this for a fact, for 90 days, okay? So at the end of the 90 days, if you haven't completed or you haven't yet got your license and you want to keep studying, you're going to have to pay again, okay? So you're going to have to pay more money on top of what you already paid in order to keep going. Now, what I do with my guys, which is a little bit different, and gals, is I give them 1 full year, okay? So they have 1 year that I'm going to assist them, okay, until they get their test date and their license. They're good to go, okay? So I do that for a lot of reasons. Number one, life is not perfect. Sometimes people shelf stuff. Sometimes you get busy or you
Sure.
just get caught up working. Okay. So it's nice to know that if you get this stuff going on, it's live online for a year. You can come back in 6 months. I'm still going to help you and you're still going to get your license.
Okay, great. And you help them with the bonds as well. I know that we work with your clients once they're graduated and walk them through the process on getting bonded so they can be licensed, and then we can help them also with their general liability insurance or workers' comp insurance as well.
Absolutely. And, we do everything from A to Z, and we're able to put them in touch with the right people to help them with the stuff that we don't do, so we can help them working with yourself, and helping them with, all their bonding and insurance needs, which is hugely important. Okay. The bottom line is what everybody wants to do is once they take their test and they get their license, they immediately want to go out and start working. But unless they have the correct insurance or bonds in place, it's a huge risk.
Sure, sure. Well, great. I appreciate you, spending time with us today. How do people get a hold of you?
They can go online, www.platzercontractorsschool.com. I pretty much come up everywhere, generally on the first page of Google in Northern California, or they can call us at the 866-500-6553 number.
Perfect. And can you give that number one more time?
866-500-6553.
Perfect. All right, Dave, thanks for spending time with us on the Contractor TV, and you enjoy the rest of the day. Thanks, Dave.
All right. Thank you, Kevin.
All right. Bye-bye.